you've seen it this afternoon, the Iowa caucuses have been run and won. Donald Trump is going to emerge with, it looks like, more than 50% of the vote in these caucuses. And that does mean, as we expected, he's very much in the box seat to get the Republican nomination. The question will be, who's going to finish up in second spot? Joining me again now to wrap up a huge day at the Iowa caucuses, our US political expert, Jackman. A bit's happened since we last spoke. We've had reaction from the four main contenders in this caucus. One of them drop out, and perhaps another one, even though Nikki Haley finished third, is she now the favourite to finish second overall, not just in this primary, but the whole primary process?
Yeah, look, I think that's a reasonable surmise, Tom, about Nikki Haley coming in second for what that's worth. Ron DeSantis has been really caught in a pincer movement, trying to be more Trump than Trump on the one hand, but really lacking, I think, the authenticity to do it, at the same time opening up some real estate for that segment of the Republican caucus goers who wanted something other than a candidate like Trump. And so I think in the end, DeSantis wound up sort of without a particularly big constituency. He will finish second in Iowa, but he really needed to knock Nikki Haley out of the race. That has not happened. And as I was saying earlier, Tom, I think once we move on to New Hampshire in short order, Nikki Haley's message will find much more receptivity in New Hampshire. I don't think that's going to be a particularly friendly state for the Ron DeSantis message. And I think that lack of political real estate for DeSantis becomes more pressing as we go forward. Of course, we go to South Carolina, Nikki Haley's home state. That's not going to be a welcome for Ron DeSantis either. So incredibly disappointing evening for him and his supporters. But that is primary politics. It is tough business.
We should mention why as well. I mean, Nikki Haley made this major gaffe around basically, New Hampshire just corrects what happens in Iowa. And we know that the primaries can be so self-fulfilling. Once you get a little bit of a low result or the media start talking about who's going to win, who's going to come second, the next state goes, oh, well, we know they're irrelevant. Who are we going to pick out of these two? That's why early results matter so much, right?
That's the front loading, and that's why what we are talking about when we talk about the big momentum in primaries. It's that game of expectations, who the media chooses to cover, and of course the money, Tom, to keep these campaigns afoot. And this is something Trump has done so well this cycle. Excellent ground game, funding a machinery, precinct captains right across the state. Now, to do that, to have a storefront blanketing a state like Iowa, at the same time you've got to be spooling up in New Hampshire and South Carolina, that takes a lot of money. And once the donors get the sense that this is not going to play out well, how long do you want to keep sending checks to a losing candidacy? Very, very smartly get in behind the winner. And that's why the field winnows. And I think, particularly, Tom, it's not even close, right? Trump has run away with this. It's 51 and then a couple of 20s. This is not 2016 with a three-way split with, 3 percentage points separating the top three finishers, as we saw in 2016. We are done, pretty much, at least as the top of the ticket, I think. And we're really scrapping over what the shape of it looks like beyond that.
Well, of course, and then the legal matters, are significant for that reason. Let me ask you in 30 seconds or so, though, what do you make, given all that, if Donald Trump's emerging, or has emerged clearly as the nominee, but apparently the money raising for Joe Biden is dwindling? Shouldn't this be the time where they say, well, he's got to be our man?
Yeah, so look, the Biden campaign, on the one hand, trying to put out spokespeople saying we're in great shape on fundraising. I think the data reveal otherwise. They would like to be in much stronger shape. Look, it's the same enthusiasm gap there that I think is plaguing his poll numbers. A lot of people reluctantly being drawn to accept the fact that Biden is going to be the nominee, and most likely it will be a Biden-Trump election. I think, hold your beer. There's a long way to go. And I think once the nature of this contest becomes clear, that it's Biden-Trump, Democrats and centrists will have no choice but to write some checks for Joe Biden.